Okay, so let's get started here. So this is the first episode of Writing with Dice. Our goal is to just use D&D in a new way, or RPG games in general. I'm starting with D&D mainly because my nice Fantasy Grounds has all the information already inputted and I can do it all automatically very simply. But we're going to be turning a D&D campaign into a story. And you do that all the time, but what we're going to be doing particularly different is we're going to make what happens in D&D into something that would read more like a novel. Basically, I would like to practice writing more, but when you write, there's all the characters to create and world building to do, and I don't really have time for that right now. But I would like to write, and I thought, I have tons of books on my shelf and lots of software and websites and resources for how to make characters, how to design combats and run combats, how to create interactions between characters, and things for those characters to do, plots and quests and places to visit and grand adventures to go on, and all the D&D books I have on my bookshelf, basically. And I said, well, I want to use those to write my story. I can focus on just writing and improving my writing. I don't write a lot of fiction, but I would like to start, and I figured this is a great way to do it. So today, we're going to do some character creation for our party, as well as delve a little bit into some backgrounds, so we can write some prologues for these characters and how they start. We're going to be running, just before we get into that even, to be running the Hoard of the Dragon Queen, and then maybe the Rise of Tiamat campaigns written by Dungeons & Dragons. I'm basically going to just use all this pre-made resource that I have at my fingertips, thanks to Fantasy Grounds, to have all the story told for me, and I have to put it into some kind of more typical fiction writing, just to practice. So, Hoard of the Dragon Queen takes place on the Sword Coast, very standard setting for a lot of D&D campaigns and whatnot. So we definitely want to check into that. So, I was thinking for our party, we're going to stay with a basic party of 4. Like the little character you see here is just my kind of figuring out how to make a character in Fantasy Grounds. I haven't used this program very much. I was thinking we would go with a pretty basic composition. Again, I want to take as much of the creative aspect, you might say, out of my hands and put it into the hands of the D&D mechanics. So really what I want to do is just have the dice tell me what the players do, and have that, and I have to kind of make it come alive, so to speak. But we're gonna let D&D write a very detailed outline for us. So that's what we're going to do. So, I kind of already started with my first character here. I think we're going to stick with him. This is Rex. I don't know if I make the picture bigger or not. No, I don't know how to make it bigger. But he is a Ranger level 1. I already made his stats using... We're going to use a 27-point buy, which I believe is the standard buy. In D&D, and I don't know, did I even make his... I still have points to spend on him. I didn't remember that. So he is a ranger, so rangers really want either dex con, so maybe we up his con one more. He does have a benefit to charisma, which we're not going to play at all. He's a ranger. He might be a tabaxi, but he's not going to do much besides that. So we'll bump him up. Oops. So, like I said, I haven't used the software too much. We don't need to run a check on him. We're going to give him 15 Constitution. Why does he have 10? He should have 10 Strength, 17 Dexterity, 15 Constitution, 10 Intelligence, 13 Wisdom, and 9 Charisma. Okay. And I think because of the beauty of Fantasy Grounds, a lot of his other stuff is handled for him. His skills and size, we'll do that ability, but favored enemy, or all this. So the great thing about Fantasy Grounds is when I simply gave him the Ranger skill, Ranger class, sorry, it gave him all his skills, his features, his traits, and so on. So where did it go? Our Ranger. So all I had to do is drag this over onto him, and that took care of it all. So that should be everything. We do have to choose a language for him besides common. Oh, we have to pick 2 languages for him besides common. Kind of looking at our, it was on the Sword Coast. Living kind of in isolation. I'm gonna say he's gonna speak some Elvish. He's gonna have a little bit of experience kind of dealing with some of the more fae and natural elements of the world. So maybe Halfling would be a good fit for him as well. Or something like that. Maybe he's encountered as he's just been roaming around, interacting with stuff. I don't think he'll have any super fancy languages. He doesn't have a particularly great background. He's just a basic ranger out there hunting and roaming the woods. But we do need to pick another language that he has some experience in. So, you know what? I like the idea of Dwarvish. Not really. I'm thinking here, or something. Now, Goblin would be interesting because if he picked up Goblin just from hunting them or fighting them a lot, a basic level 1 adventurer would definitely come into contact with goblins a lot, even before they're technically a level 1, level 0. We could definitely say that he has encountered some of those and maybe learned a little bit of the language in order to hunt them more effectively. If we did that, that would maybe need to be his favored enemy. So a favored enemy begin at level 1, we get to pick something we're good at fighting. Aberrations, beasts, celestials, construct, dragons, elemental fae, fiends, giant, monstrosity, oozes, plants, or undead. Or you can pick 2 races of humanoids, such as gnolls, orcs, goblins, or even humans, elves, halflings, dwarves, something like that. When you have advantage on wisdom checks, then you can choose your favorite enemy as well as their associated language. This is what we have to choose. One of our languages comes from this. I think our other language comes from some other things. So it would make sense to pick something, but we would pick 2 languages. But, spoken by your enemy if they speak something at all. Okay, why don't we give him... Goblin is a little... But they are a pest. And so we are going to give him Goblin. Let's give him Goblin. One thing I don't know is how you use... how we can input what his actual favorite enemy is. We'd have to just remember. Can I just type in here like goblin slash orcs are often found with goblins, something like that? That might work. I don't think it messes up my hotkey, my info buttons. Okay, fighting style. That's his skills, his armor class. I think we already gave him his inventory from just the basic starting guide for a ranger. So nothing too fancy there. Fighting style. When you pick a fighting style, choose a fighting style more than once, even if you later get to choose again. So how are we going to be fight? How is he going to fight? Is he going to be an archer? 2 attack bonus to range attacks, defense, extra armor, dueling, and no other weapon. You gain 2 plus bonus to damage rolls. Great fighting weapon. Great weapon fighting, sorry. When you roll a 1 or 2 on a damage die for an attack you make with a melee weapon you are wielding with 2 hands. I don't really see him as a two-handed fighter because he's going as a tabaxi, he's going to be very agile. So I don't think we want to go with that. Protection. Or 2-weapon fighting. When you engage in 2-weapon fighting, you can add your ability modifier to the second attack. So this would allow him to be dual wielding. We're going to have a tank, which is going to be a paladin, a fighter, or barbarian, probably. So they're going to be up close. We're going to have our healer, which is going to probably go with we could go with a druid. Druids can heal. But I think a cleric, especially given the nature of the storyline, a cleric works really well of fighting against a cult, trying to resurrect Tiamat. That works well, so we're going to probably go cleric for our healer. So those 2 can be pretty heavy. So it might actually not be a bad idea to make him ranged. Because if we're going to have a cleric and a fighter, paladin, or some kind of tank class build, we want someone who's going to be able to give them some cover and move around and provide a lot of help. Now, 2-weapon fighting, you can be very agile and jump in and out of fights and jump in, hit your attacks, and then retreat again, making it a real pain. But the cleric can do a little bit of ranged, but not that great. They don't, depending on how we build the cleric, we don't want them to be too much in the front lines. But a cleric paladin team as 2 of our players sounds really interesting, a good dynamic to explore, because that would really bring out the religious aspect of this story. Kind of their takes on it, how they see them, how they want to work. But I think, you know, I have never actually played a ranger. I have never, so I've always done something like a frontline paladin, fighter, barbarian. It's what I like to play when I play. But so I've always gone something like great weapon fighting, dueling, or defense, or something. I've never done like a 2-weapon wield or an archer, which both sounds like a really good thing we could go with for him. But you know, that's about all we really have. We could do is just that. That's all I really can think about. Tough choices. Well, who would be our 4th? Let's think about our 4th. We have some kind of healer, a tank, a mage. We have to have our massive thing. They're going to be good ranged. 2 ranged, 2 close, 3 close, depending on what this thing could throw at us. I like the ranger class because it kind of, how are they going to be getting around and things. I don't really want to go with a rogue too much. They're more of the duel, but I think, you know, let's The whole point of all this is to take a lot of the creative aspect and put it in the hands of D&D. So let's stop trying to be too creative here and just pick archery. So let's put our archery here. And we also have natural explorer. When traveling for an hour or more in your favorite terrain, there's a spelling error in this. Just an extra space. Difficult terrain doesn't sell your travel. That's really good. That sounds nice. Choose favored terrain: Arctic coast, desert, forest, grassland, mountains, swamp, or underdark. Well, considering where he's lived his whole life, I think most of the Sword Coast. Let's see if they have it in our map. Where's my map button? There it is. They have just a Sword Coast artwork. Classes, maps. Hi, how you doing, Sarah? I don't really know. I don't know the maps of the Sword Coast well enough. I'm thinking... Yeah, just chilling. Yeah, same here. Afternoon off, so just chilling and playing some D&D by myself. I'm gonna use it to help me write rather than actually play a campaign. Let's just say forest. He's good in the forest. Second wind. I don't think I need to add anything to that. You can gain and wanderer. Okay, I think that's good. Like that. Okay, let's see. And then if we... Cat's Claws, what does that do? Oh, unarmed combat. Okay. Cat's Talent. Proficiency in Perception and Stealth. Where is that? I'm still learning how to use this software too. Logs, actions, where is it? Proficiency in stealth. Oh, is that skills? Yeah, stealth and... What was it again? Stealth and... Perception. I think it automatically does it. Yes, it does. Oh, I love this software already. Agility... Extra movement, armor, elvish, goblin, so on and so forth. Okay, I'm sure I spelled elvish correctly. I think it does automatically sync with that. His inventory is all set. His personal traits, activities, weapons, longbow, ammo. Is this the only place I have to track ammo? Because I know you're supposed to have a quiver. Where's my items? Okay. Quiver. That's not how you spell quiver. Oh, it is how you spell quiver. I just didn't see it move. Quiver. There it is. Basic rules. Okay, so do I give it? Have I given him one yet? No, I have not. And the quiver can hold 20 arrows. That's what he starts with. I don't know if Fantasy Grounds has ammo tracking. I've used Roll20 a lot, and that's what I've used, and it automatically will deduct if you click on the add-on to keep track of ammo as you roll attacks. I think that has everything for his basic stats covered. What we do need to do is some background. So background, he is an outlander. So grew up in the wilds, far from civilization. Pretty standard. we've given him his proficiencies already. And suggested character traits. Table Outlander personality trait. Ooh, look at this. Okay, let's roll. Here we go. First roll. 2. I watch over my friends as if they were a litter of newborn pups. Oh, this ought to be interesting. Okay. So I should put this inventory notes, personality traits. Can I copy? Oh, I can. Perfect. I watch over things. Okay. His ideal. Second roll. The greater good. Oh, ideals. It is each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. So self-sacrificing Outlander. That's interesting. Bond. He is... I will bring terrible... Oh yeah, I will bring terrible wrath down on all evildoers who destroyed my hometown. Oh, perfect. So I already know what we're doing with this. Part of how you tie in your characters to the Hoard of the Dragon Queen is to talk about how they've interacted with the cult before. And the cult definitely destroyed my hometown. Maybe that's why he's an Outlander. His Tabaxi tribe little village was destroyed and he's been wandering ever since. So let's actually make him a little bit older. He's taking care of newborn pups. So let's put him in like his 50s or something like that. 52 just to give an interesting name. That will be good because of that. And then Sarah, I am planning to just play out the Hoard of the Dragon Queen. So this is a published adventure by Wizards of the Coast, and I'm going to basically play through it with my party, and we're going to take what happens to them that D&D gives us. So hits, and they go here, they do this, they meet these characters, and embellish it a little bit more to make it read more like a book. Basically, I can practice my writing without having to do all of the characters and world building that I normally goes into it. So having D&D do all the world building for me. I love D&D, I love tabletop roleplay games, and I don't get to play them very often because my friends are very busy as well as I am. So this is a chance for me to use it and put it to some good use. So yeah, what was I doing? Oh, sorry. Flaws. I love Fantasy Grounds. I can just open these things, roll them. Flaws. Don't expect me to save those who can save themselves. So they're a litter of newborn pups, but they better grow up quickly, because otherwise we won't be taking care of them. I see. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. I think appearance, we're gonna go with his little picture here. I don't know how clear it is for you guys on the stream, but he's just a black cat Tabaxi. Tall, he's kind of a lanky cat, but I don't want to say he's too tall. What, 200 pounds maybe? Picture, he has a white stripe. Oops. Stripe on his nose. Okay, a white stripe on his nose. Okay. Alignment. Oh, he does have the greater good as an ideal, so I think he has to be something like chaotic good or something like that if we do give him anything. That'll give us some basics. Okay, I think that just about does it for him. For the basic stuff. I would like to give them some more personalities than just I watch over my friends as if they were pups. Let's see. I don't know if I can mix my screens. I might have to do this where you guys can't see it. I'm sorry. But I would like to get some more personality traits. So I don't know if I even have Encounters Quest tables. Do they give me tables? I don't know if D&D has like in-depth personality tables for characters. I don't see any. I could import them, but I didn't do it ahead of time. So let's see if we can't find a personality trait table that will work with D&D. Personality traits. I know there is a... Let's see. There's a website called... And it's giving me the wrong things. Should I play D&D? There's an easy character generator that's really funny. Oh, what's it called? I can't find it off the top of my head now. Great. Of course I can't. See you, Sarah. Take care. Character generator, maybe? Fast character... Yeah, there it is. Has a cuss word in it, so I don't know if I can actually say it on stream. Grouchy... Plus employed to... ambitious... From the Forest of Sadness. Just need like a personality trait table D100 or something like that. A big personality trait. Here we go. Okay, so can we roll a D? Need to roll a. That's not my percentile dice. I learned how to do percentile dice. How do I do this again? I have to click on them? Need a D10. What's my D10? There they are. Because I had the wrong ones. But we'll just say that's a 32. I thought there was a way to roll percentile dice. If someone knows how to do it, please let me know. I'm not entirely sure. How to do it again. But 32, where did my traits go? Should use another RPGs because some other tabletop games have really good personality. 32. Well, that's not what I needed. That page. This page. So, he's efficient. 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 Superstitious. Superstitious. Where'd it go? Superstitious. Too many T's and I's together on my little screen. Superstitious. And got the same thing twice. That's interesting. It's very superstitious. 57. Let's see. Nervous. You're a ranger out there living on your own in the Badlands. Makes sense. I would be a little nervous all the time if I was living out there. For sure. Okay, I think that's good for now. That's enough to get us started.